Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Muthoni Mukiri and this is Muthoni's Mission. Today we're talking about money, pesa, KSH, chums, how to make money and how different ways of making money, and more so we're focusing on leaving employment for business, which is the best time to leave employment for business, how to do it, how to also have a side business while you're still employed, and how to really go about it, and have someone so special to us, someone we really like, an entrepreneurship guru, an entrepreneurship consultant, Kahuria. Hi Chris.
Hi Muthoni.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Welcome back. Please we're happy to have you. Yes. So please introduce yourself because of the new guys.
Thanks so much, Muthoni. My name is Kahuria. Like Muthoni have said, I'm an entrepreneurship and financial management consultant. That's what I do. Besides that, I also help people to optimize in life. It's a calling, feel like it's my purpose.
Like helping people make the best out of their lives.
Out of their life, out of their businesses, especially those people in business. And even people who are employed and you feel there are areas of your life you want to optimize, you want to become more effective. I help people in that area. And I'm also an author. I'm an author in the subject of entrepreneurship, on finance, and on purpose. Those are things I'm very passionate about, and I'm very happy to be here, Muthoni, today.
Yeah, karibu sana.
Yes, and your viewers can follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. My YouTube channel is under construction. Follow me on those platforms and let's engage in things that inspire us.
Yes.
Thank you.
So today we're talking about quitting employment.
Yes.
For business,
yes,
or for self-employment. Can I say that?
Yes, we will get to see about that.
We will get to see about that.
Yes.
So the ultimate, whether you're employed or whatever you're doing, the ultimate is to become your own boss, right?
Yes, exactly.
Like that's the ultimate goal.
Yes.
So is it safe to quit employment to start a business?
Thank you so much, Muthoni. That's a very good question. It's a question I've answered from so many people. I want to start a bit back and say that there are 4 career options that you can have. The first one is that you can be in full-time employment.
8 to 5?
8 to 5 shifts. Some even do even more, and even night shift overtime. But that is full-time employment. You report to work for somebody, for an organization, every day for the days you have agreed, and you are paid a salary at the end of the month, at the end of the week, or whichever time you have agreed. That is one option. The other option is to be self-employed. And I want to move step by step. We started with full-time employment, that is you're employed. Number 2, you are self-employed. A self-employed person is somebody who has quit their full-time job to use their skills and experience to do something similar or something else on their own. So it means they report also to work every day, but to work for themselves. That is a self-employed person. The other option is somebody who is partly...
The third one?
Yes, the third one is somebody who is in full-time employment, but also has a part-time career, or people call it a side hustle. That is the third option that you can have as a career. And the last one is to become an entrepreneur. And I know, Muthoni, you're already wondering why I'm saying an entrepreneur. I had already said self-employed. Because along the way we will see those two are not the same.
Okay.
Yes.
So we first move on.
It's okay, we can...
Yes, let's talk about it.
Yes.
The difference between being self-employed and being an entrepreneur.
Yes. I think I have defined a self-employed person. You have stopped working for somebody. Now you're working for yourself. That means the thing you do every day, which is a business, depends entirely on your skills, on your time. You have to literally report there for you to make money.
It's like sole proprietorship.
Yeah, sole proprietorship, where everything is set around you. And I can give you an example of a teacher who quits employment as in public schools and opens a school where they are teaching. Or a doctor who leaves public practice and opens a small clinic where the ones who wait on patients every day.
Yeye ndiye kazi.
Yeye ndiye kazi. For somebody to be treated in that hospital, he has to be there. And when he is not there, watu naambiwa daktari hayuko.
Yeah. So that's self-employed.
That is self-employed.
Yes.
An entrepreneur is somebody who innovates and creates an opportunity that employs them and other people, which means over time they are able to delegate most of their tasks to other people who work for them and they pay them. And that means that person can actually make that thing part-time and focus on something else. Generally, they have created a platform, an opportunity. They have come up with an innovation that employs other people, and it can operate without them.
It can operate without them.
Yes,
that's
person,
an entrepreneur.
Yes, that is not the person. It's not like the barber, the kinyozi, who has to report to work every day for people for that kinyozi to operate. It is somebody who has created an environment and a platform where other people can come and utilize their skills, and he pays them and earns money out of it. That's an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the ideal between self-employment and entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship.
Yes. So everyone should aspire to become an entrepreneur one day, but you may have to pass through being self-employed. Yes. Unless you, by some luck, or you have worked so hard to move, you can call it a giant leap, leaping maybe from full-time employment to entrepreneurship. Or some people have literally never worked. They started from being entrepreneurs. People who have come up with innovations like the tech guys like Bill Gates and the like, those are entrepreneurs. They did not even necessarily get employed. But the thing that they formulated is done by other people and they profit from it.
Okay.
Yes.
So we go back to my question.
Yes.
How safe is it to quit your employment, to quit your job,
yes,
for self-employment or for entrepreneur?
That's a good question, Modoni. Number one, timing is very important. Some people leave their jobs for funny reasons and without asking themselves where they are going. And I usually say, to most people, leaving a job to start a business is like jumping from the frying pan into the fire. You have come from one trouble to another trouble. And there are people who have literally left their employment because they feel there is a lot of trouble, they cannot fit there, they are not happy, they are not fulfilled. But what they are coming to start is also not safe. So they come into another trouble. So timing is very important. If you want to leave your job to start a business, there are a few important questions you have to ask yourself. Very important. Don't just wake up one day and decide to leave, unless the workplace is very hostile. Don't just wake up one day and decide to leave your job thinking that it will work for you here. And many of us have found themselves in that kind of trouble, where you have always imagined that you can do well out there. And the word out there in itself, every time we mention out there, is not a good place. You have imagined
out there.
Yes, you have imagined because you are very effective working for somebody. Even when you come out there, you will equally be very successful. But in many cases, it does not work because there is always a process to everything. And if you want to leave your job, number one, you have to ask yourself why you are leaving. Are you leaving just because you are tired with your job and you want to start a business? Or are you leaving because there is a business that you have studied and you know you have what it takes to come and do it? Don't wake up one day and decide to resign from your job to come and look for something to do out here. Because many people who do that find themselves stuck. And some have even gone back to employment because they thought life is easy out here. So number one, ask yourself the why. Why are you leaving your job?
What is the best why?
The best why is because
yes,
you have identified an opportunity that you can capitalize on through self-employment.
Okay.
And you have done enough research and determined that you are able to do it. Otherwise, you may come here and get stuck. And you know, if you have been earning money and now you have come out here, nobody is paying you a salary. The question is, are you going to survive? So number one is ask yourself why. Number two, prepare a plan. If you want to be employed one day, start thinking about it before it happens. Like if you've been working for one
year. You want to be self-employed?
Yes, you want to be self-employed. So have a plan and say, maybe I want to work for 3 years and then I will quit to go and start something. And that something has to be defined. So in those 3 years, you are trying to define it. So you have a plan. So when I leave my employment, this is what I want to do. and you start preparing yourself for it. Don't come into something that you are not prepared, because many people have found themselves thinking that because Muthoni is doing very well in this kind of business, I'm sure I'll also do very well if I come to it. And then you don't know why Muthoni succeeds, because you don't even have a plan. And you come here and literally fail, and you are stuck. So number one is have a plan. Write it very well. And number two, start preparing yourself. And one way of preparing yourself is to start saving. You can save for capital. Because I want to state here categorically, and I think this is a discussion we'll have another time. You should never borrow money to come and start a business. Because that is a mistake many people are making. So when you are working, you decide, let me go and take a loan from my bank or from my circle or from a microfinance or wherever you are able to take that loan and come and invest in a business. And then as soon as you have taken that loan and started a business, you resign from your job to come and run this business.
That's what people do.
Yes, research has shown that those businesses don't work because capital is not the only requirement for a business. And there are people who have saved for years to start a business, but they don't know what business they are doing. And then one day they just decide to quit and to use their savings to start a business, and they watch all their money melt in that business. So start preparing yourself by saving for capital so that you don't borrow, but also prepare yourself by acquiring the skills that you need
for that business.
For that business. And every business has unique skills.
Yes.
There is an article I have written on my page, and maybe somebody can look for it. Actually, there are two. One article I have written the story, and these are real stories, they are not creations, of somebody who started a business from scratch with no capital, but has a very big business. And another one who started a business with the millions, and they saw their business coming down because this one person had the skills to run the business. And so even if their capital was very little, they watched their business grow because it is running on their skills. This other person has no skills but has capital. And you know, in as much as we are told that let money work for you, money does not really work for us. Money can only work for us if it is in something we call passive income, where you have invested money in something that you are not running. Somebody else is running for it, but money does not work. Somebody has to work for money to bring a return. So prepare yourself by skills. And the easiest business you can do, Muthoni, is the business that is related to skills that you have. If the job you are doing where you are employed, you are able to come up with a business that is using the same skills, then you are better off than somebody who is starting from nowhere. Okay. So if, for instance, you are employed, somebody could be employed as a graphic designer or maybe a content creator where they work. And so it means they have skills that they use to help their employer, and they can use the same skills out here to come and do something for themselves. Yeah. So if you have skills that are related to what you do, that can be a very good starting point. If you don't have, if the business you want to do, you don't have those skills, then acquire those skills before you leave your employment. And something else very important, always leave your employment on a high. On a high. Most people leave their employment when they are down. And I usually say, one of the easiest places to build networks is in the place where you have worked. Yeah. So you need to start creating networks for business when you are still there. But not necessarily the networks of your employer, because I will say...
clients working.
Yes, I'll talk about conflict of interest right now. But start building networks from where you are, and ensure you don't burn bridges. I usually say that life is like a ladder, and a ladder has steps. And what many people do is that they start with the first step of the ladder, and before they climb to the next one, they break this one they were stepping on, or they burn it. Then they climb up, and hoping that they will always be going up. But life has shown that sometimes you can go to a new step and it does not work, and you need to come back a bit and start again. So some people find themselves not having somewhere to step on, because everywhere you have been going, you have been burning bridges, you have been burning. So if you want to leave your employment, ensure that you excel very well in that place of you're working and live on high, because you need something that I call a fallback plan. What will happen if you go out there and it does not work? One of the fallback plans can be maybe going back there, if it is possible, or using the networks from your employer to do something.
Yeah.
But if you have burned the bridges, you'll not be able to get those networks. You'll not be able to take advantage of them. So work very well when you're employed, and don't steal time from your employer. What many people are doing, Muthoni, is that I want to start a business and I'm employed. So I set up my own business, and then I start using some of the time that I was given to the employer to do my business. And some people are even doing the same business that you are employed to do. So you start a side business, trying even to poach the clients of your employer.
So it's like a competing business.
A conflict of interest.
Yes.
And that one can mess you. If you want to leave employment to start a business, always ensure you leave on a high. Don't compromise the job that you are doing just because you want to leave. Do a very good job.
Yes.
If the clients of your employer thought you are a good employee and they want you to work for them, they will come looking for you. Don't start poaching them so that you can take advantage of them. And work very well. Something I usually say, and this is very true, many people who want to start businesses, as soon as you feel that you have the energy, you have the muscle to start a business, you start underperforming at your workplace.
Yeah.
You start coming late because, even if somebody calls you and asks you to show cause, you tell them, I have resigned.
You have something else on the side.
You start using a lot of time that you're supposed to be working for your employer to run your business because you feel safe. You feel, or even if I'm fired, I have something else. But I usually tell life, every moment that you are living in this life, you are preparing for the next moment. And what you are doing now is what you'll be doing the next moment. Most people who underperform in their place of work because they want to start a business end up also underperforming in their business, because you cannot train yourself to do business excellently if you are mediocre in the workplace. You cannot get loyalty from the staff you will work with at your place if you are disloyal. Life will always give you what you have sown to eat. You cannot be very hardworking at your business if you are not hardworking where you are employed. Train yourself when you are there and build the right character to start a business, because business needs character.
Okay.
And then when you feel you are ready with all that, then you can bolt out of your employment, and if possible, start it before you bolt out so that you can test the waters. But if you think you have the guts, you are very clear, and you can actually set it and immediately leave your employment, that is fine. But it is not always advisable. Yes.
Can you run a successful, you're saying it's not, most of the time when you start a side hustle, you stop giving a lot to where you're employed. You you become redundant.
Yes.
You're not really as hardworking as before.
Yes.
So can you run a successful side hustle when you're employed?
Yes, you can. You can, you have to, there's something we call a life balance. So if you are employed, be faithful to your employer. If you report at work from 8 to 5, report to work 8 to 5. And then create some extra time to run your business. But again, do not overwork yourself. Because this is what happens. If you work from, some people do this, you wake up very early in the morning, you report to your business from maybe 6 to around 8. And then at 8 you report to your workplace where you are employed. Then you leave work maybe at 5 or at 4:30 to come to your business, and you work on it maybe up to around 8 or 9. So by the end of the day, you are very tired. And you cannot manage this for long because of burnout. So what normally happens is, when you bite more than you can chew, you will find yourself messing your job, and you might get fired, and also messing your business, because there is so much that you can handle. So you have to be very wise if you are doing a side hustle. Either employ somebody and let your work be just to guide them. The moment you feel that your side hustle can take care of you when you're working there full time, that's the time you leave.
Oh, ukishajua side hustle yako inaweza kusimamia.
Yeah. So start a business, maybe get somebody to run it. Use your skills to train that person and to monitor that business. But at that point, you feel that now it is safe, this business is profitable. Then leave. Don't continue running a business that is taking a lot of your time and still doing a full-time job. Because at the end of the day, you'll be the victim of that. And we have seen people going through burnout and even literally crashing because of overworking themselves. Well, that is not how you are made to be. So decide at some point where you feel that your business is stable enough to have the honor to leave your job.
Is that when you know you're ready to leave?
That is when you know you are ready. If you know, you have to test. If you know that, and I told you what you test, why you need to test the waters. Because you need to ask yourself, if I've been doing this business for the last maybe 6 months or so, or 1 year, how much have I been making from this business? Can that money sustain me if I leave my job? That is, if you don't have savings. Because there's also the other option of accumulating some money that can take care of you when your business is still rising. Because some business also goes through a cycle. And that is why many of us get stuck in business, because you leave your job today, start a business, and you want your business to keep you at the same standard of life that you are. So you end up again hurting your business because it has to take care of you. There has to be a balance where you start a business, but at the onset, that is not what you are eating from, so that you can give your business enough time to rise. But if you have tested the waters and you have seen that your business can still maintain the life that you have been living, or at least at a fair way, then it is advisable to quit your job. Because what is your interest at the end of the day? Your interest at the end of the day is to have something of your own, a business of your own, something that you call your own. So you have to balance the equation so that you don't again have something you're working on as a side hustle that can take care of you, but you are so much effective in your workplace, yet you're running your business down. Because some people have run down very
what does that mean?
Running down your business is mismanaged. That is, you don't give enough attention to your business. You end up closing it, or it ends up not being optimized. Because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself which is which, and that's the question you answer. Which is which? Do I want to be employed, or do I want to be self-employed, or maybe an entrepreneur? If you have said that you feel you want to be self-employed, then make that decision and look for the best time to leave your job. But don't continue working for so long for somebody, building somebody else's business when your business is not being built. Because if you have skills to build this business, why not just use those skills here instead of using it somewhere else?
Yeah. Yes. So tunaambiwangwa kuna watu wanakuanga na mkono ya biashara.
Yes.
Like when they like I feel like wanakuanga na mkono ya biashara.
Yes, yes.
But kuna wale watu, those ones are built for self-employment.
Yes.
Like huyo biashara they can't, they just wanna sit in the office from 8 to 9 angoje mshahara end month ajipange nayo. I want you to talk about that.
The people say there are even some communities that were made for business.
Na wengine ni wakusoma na papers
and so on.
Yeah.
First of all, there's a question that people asked, are entrepreneurs born or made? And this is I'm going to answer. Very interesting that all entrepreneurs are born, because everyone was born. So entrepreneurs are born.
Yes.
But entrepreneurs are also made. So there is that person who is born an entrepreneur, and that is what you call talent. Because talent is something, a gift that you are born with. That is a talent. So there is somebody who is a talented entrepreneur. And some of it is something maybe that runs in the family. It is a family of entrepreneurs. So some people are born entrepreneurs. But even if you are born an entrepreneur, you will never become one until you go through a process. So entrepreneurs are made. That's what I would say.
Yes.
And there are people who are not born entrepreneurs, but they have become entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurs are made. And I want to say something here. So many people who are talented entrepreneurs have ended up not performing very well in business. Yet people who are not necessarily born entrepreneurs have trained themselves and performed very well. Because somebody said that talent is good, but hard work is better. And in many cases, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. So even if you are uko na mkono ya biashara, there is some work that you have to put into it.
Yes.
Most people have that mkono ya biashara, they are talented, but they have not optimized their business. It is a process. Even with talent, you need skills. And in one of our discussion on purpose, we have said, after you have identified your talents, the next step is to build skills that help you to exploit that talent. So even if you are born an entrepreneur, you are talented, there are skills you have to build. And we have people who have very small businesses that don't go anywhere, yet they have the talent, because they are not putting in the right effort. They don't have the right skills to make that talent work. Yeah.
So you've decided to quit employment because you want to go into business or you want to be self-employed. Most people say watu wengi wenye wanachanga kazi ndio uende kwa biashara, most of them hit rock bottom.
Yes.
So what other things you can do to avoid that? Whereas that keeping in mind you don't want to go back to employment.
Yes. Researchers have said that 90% of startups don't finally see the light of day. 90%.
That is very sad.
It is a very scary statistic.
Yes.
Because it means for every 10 people who have quit employment to start a business, 9 might not succeed. It is not a given, but 9 might not.
There is a might.
Yes, there is a possibility that 9 of them will not succeed. There is a possibility that only 1 of them will succeed. And the question that people ask is why? And the reason is because people don't understand that entrepreneurship is a process. You don't wake up one day and become an entrepreneur. Are you willing to go through the process? And there is no business that will peak from day one unless you are an entrepreneur or that kind of a business. Most businesses will have to go through a cycle. And some businesses go through a cycle of 3 years and then stabilize. Others do a cycle of 5 years, stabilize. Others even a cycle of 10 years. So if you don't understand that, and you have come into business and you have made loss the first month, you will think that is not the right business. And that is why most people quit, because people don't understand the process. And also, very important, people do not think that skills are important.
People don't invest in themselves.
Yes, they don't invest in themselves, in making yourself. In one of my books that I call If You Mean Business.
We need those books here.
Yes, those books, you see them very soon. Right now somebody can get them on Amazon, but very soon the hard copies will be here. I know, Mudhoni, you want the hard copies, you have told me many times.
Yes. I want to write things there and draw things.
Yes, you want to color them like the Bible.
Yes.
So there's one of the chapters that I have said, how to make yourself a suitable entrepreneur, the most suitable entrepreneur. There are things you do that will make you a suitable entrepreneur. There are habits that you have to practice for you to become a successful entrepreneur. There is some kind of skills that you need to become a suitable entrepreneur. And those are things that people don't bear in mind. Most people are motivated by the desire to make money.
Okay.
Yes.
So umesema kuna habits zenye unafaa kuwa nazo.
Yes.
Unaweza tuambia 3?
3
ama 2 zenye uko comfortable.
Number 1, successful entrepreneurs save. They save because in another topic we had, Mudhoni, we said that this life has up and downs, and the ups and downs are always equal. And in one of the seminars I attended, where I was training some business people, I told them to write for me the months of the year. So they wrote from January to December. Then I told them, mark with a tick the months of the year where you think business is good. And they marked. And also mark the months of the year where you think business is not that good. They marked. And they were surprised that most of them marked 6 months for good business and 6 months for no business. That is how life is.
So the lows are equal to the highs.
Yes. So when you start a business, your goal should be to grow that business gradually. And one way of growing a business gradually is to save, so that you keep building a reserve. A reserve that can help you when the business is down and you want to reignite the business. And also a reserve, because as you do business, you keep learning, you keep gathering skills, you keep seeing new opportunities. But if your business has always been operating at the same level, you will be missing out on very many opportunities. And very many people who are doing business just wanakula opportunities kwa macho. Because for 2 years, 3 years, your business remains at the same level. You have never built a reserve. And if you look at this big business, these big companies, always when they report they share their financial statements for every year, you'll see they have reserves. Something that can keep the business going. So one habit that a successful entrepreneurs must have is that habit of setting aside reserves. Because most people think that get into the trap of always borrowing to refinance the business. And you know, banks are waiting for you when you want to borrow. They will be very happy to lend you money. But if you can also build a habit of setting aside some reserves that can cushion your business, but also can take advantage of an opportunity that will come. Because opportunities will always come, and opportunities are like passing clouds. It comes, it goes, we'll never see it again. So don't think that becoming your own boss means becoming indisciplined, because your business will not work. It will call you to put in sheer hard work, to sleepless hours, to deny yourself. In many cases, and I can say out of experience, the life that I was living when I was employed, I had to sacrifice when I started doing business.
Even me right now, I wake up at 5 a.m.
Yes, including my the lifestyle. You cannot, when you are earning from somebody else's business, somebody else's idea, you have the luxury to live the life you want if they are paying you well. But when you are, and if you notice, and this is another very interesting conversation, you will find that many employees want to live a better life than even their employers.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the sweat that goes into that business. Mm-hmm. It is only when you start your own business that you realize that people really sweat to make money.
Yes.
So if you don't learn to sacrifice and get disciplined, forego some things that maybe were of benefit to you for the purposes of preserving your business, you will fail. Be very disciplined. Wake up early. Manage your money well. Report to work and be focused. Very important. Be disciplined. Number 3, about a successful entrepreneur, is that they are good salespeople.
You have to be a good salesman.
If you want to do business, you have to do sales. And sales is something you can train if you don't have selling skills. I don't know, and let me tell you what most people do. And the story I'm telling you that I've posted on my page about somebody who invested millions and failed. It is because people want to put money into a business and then hire people. So the business is never running on your skills. It is running on somebody else's skills. So what happens? These people will either take advantage of you, or your business will be hindered because you are the vision carrier. So if you are the vision carrier, then it means you have to put in more work. So that is very important. Ensure that you are spending enough time on your computer, build networks for business, sell, so that you can charge. I know people who know how to sell can even manage their staff even better, because you can show them what it means to sell. So be a salesperson, because you have first of all to market your business. Especially in this age, you have to be a salesperson if you want to market your business. Starting even from selling yourself, creating a brand of yourself, especially if you are in service, you are doing services. If your business is a service business, it means that you really brand yourself and brand that business. So become a good salesperson.
Okay.
And very important also, create networks. Business works with networks. And I already said that when you are working, if you are employed today and you want to be successful in business in future, you have to start building networks. And there are many people who start businesses and then they realize they don't have networks. And you thought that when you start business, people will start walking in. It does not work like that. Keep building networks with other business people. Expose yourself to what is happening in the business. Unless you are an innovator who has come up with something very unique. In business, you have to learn from others. You have to get exposed to what is happening in the business environment. Always be current. You have to put in work in creating the right networks and in learning what is happening in the business world. And those are just but a few skills and habits. Those are habits. They are habits that make people succeed in business.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the habits. So as we wind up, what have we missed? Kuna kitu tumemiss kuongelelea hii story?
There is a lot that we have missed. In fact, this can only be subject of another day. But when I was starting, I said that you either are employed, you are employed and you have a side hustle, you are self-employed, or you are an entrepreneur. But then there is that person who is fresh from college and want to start a business, especially these days, because if anyone is in college hoping to get employed, they really don't understand the marketplace. So you can start a business from scratch, and you can make an empire even if you are young. And this one I wanted to go to the young people. Mm-hmm. If you are fresh from college, start from somewhere. And something else, especially for these people who are from college, be willing to start from somewhere. Because sometimes, because of the pride of being called, you are given the powers when you are graduating, that pride kills us. And by the way, many successful entrepreneurs don't have that pride. It's very important. They are willing to do the dirty work. They are willing to put on gloves and do the dirty work. Sometimes it takes, and that is a very important aspect or a character of a business person. Mm-hmm. Start from somewhere and be willing to put in the work, to do the hard work. Don't think if you have capital, don't invest and let other people work for you. Be willing to put in the hard work. And if you are starting from scratch, be willing to put in the hard work. Start from somewhere. Business is a process, as I have said. Grow, start from scratch and grow. The biggest hindrance in business is expectation of overnight success. And that's something I would want to discourage anybody who wants to do business. Do not come to do business expecting. Ask me or Muthoni the experience that we have had in doing business. There is no overnight success. It is a process. And even these people we call employers, they are business people who have taken time to get where they are. We need that patience and remain focused. Everyone can be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are born and entrepreneurs are also made. So we can actually say we were all born entrepreneurs if we are willing to put in the work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all for today. I really appreciate and I hope somebody can learn something from this discussion. Yeah, so if you have issues starting a business, if you're dissatisfied where you're employed, if you're thinking about, if you have a side hustle, it's struggling, this is the guy to talk to. His name is Kahuria. I'm putting his contacts down here, his social media pages. Please reach out to him. Usiteseke na kuna watu wanaweza kusaidia. You just have to part with a fee and then he'll do the dirty work for you. So thank you so much for watching. His books are available at Amazon. Yes. Please look out for them. Nitaziandika mahali and please comment. I think you should be the first to comment uandike something. Yes, I'll do it. I'll do it, Muthoni. Yeah, thank you. So you have been watching Muthoni's Mission. My name is Muthoni Mukiri. See you around.